from Blue Steel City. Is everybody ready to go? Let's proclaim the greatest radio show.
Welcome, fans, to another edition of The Spread. I'm your host, Jim Sella, in studio with Big Easy and JDash. You guys could follow us on Twitter at bet_the_spread. You could follow me on Twitter at betjimthewin. Dash, you got some AL third base rankings for us today. Am I correct here?
You are correct, sir.
Believe it. See, I'm starting to read the stuff you give me.
It's about time. It only took, what, a half a year?
No, I really just hired an assistant to highlight the important stuff.
All right, well, let's move into these AL third basemen. We're going to start at 15 and move our way to 1. At number 15, Luis Valbuena. He spent the last 3 seasons with the Cubs, and he's coming over to the Astros this season. He's 29 years old. He hit .249 with a .341 on-base percentage last season. That is a very good number. He hit 16 jacks, had 51 RBIs, and 68 runs. So he had a pretty good season in, what was it here? Just 478 at-bats. But if you look, his career numbers, he's just a .229 hitter. And in fact, last season, he set some career highs in on-base percentage, at-bat, and home runs.
Yeah, Luis Valbuena. He's
Valbuena is bueno.
Valbuena.
The Astros are garbage. Does
yeah.
it matter? This dude could be the best player in the whole universe, and it wouldn't help.
Well, listen, I don't really think he's going to match those numbers from last season. Like I said, it was all career highs, and he's already 29 years old, so it's not like he's breaking out into something else. I think that was just a career year for him.
I'm sure the Astros are looking at options for third base, but that's why he's 15 here on our list.
So Valbuena is no bueno, then. I was wrong.
They actually traded for a guy with the Marlins. He's in Double-A now, I believe. His name is Colin Moran. He was a high draft pick a couple years ago in the draft, and he looks like he's going to be a pretty decent hitter, but he doesn't have much power right now, and they're hoping he grows into more.
High draft pick in the draft.
Please believe. That's what happens in drafts. People
They
become
get drafted high,
picks.
man. When there's drafts, people are drafted high.
Moving on.
Number 14, Conor, what is that? Gillaspie?
Conor Gillaspie. He plays for the White Sox. He had a pretty good season last year. He hit .282 at a .336 on-base percentage. His home run numbers actually went down from his 2013 season. He only had 7 home runs last year. The RBIs and runs were okay. He has a good plate discipline, though. He doesn't strike out too much, but those numbers were a little bit above his career numbers, and like I said, the home runs went down, so really it looks like he gave up some power to become a little bit better of a hitter.
Maybe he puts it both together this year, juices a little bit, and has an MVP season. Is it his contract year?
I have no clue what his contract looks like, but look, he'll be turning 28 during the season, so this should be... this is a year that people break out into their career years.
His playing time, though, I mean, that's not... over the last 2 seasons, that's not too many games played. Has he been injured?
264 games in 2 seasons?
Yeah.
I don't think he was the starter in 2013 to begin with, and he came in during the season and played pretty well. Look, he had 13 homers, hit .245 with a .305 on-base percentage and 408 at-bats. That's why they thought they were getting maybe a 20-home run guy in 2014, and he just... under 10, they weren't too happy with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're probably going to be looking for a new third baseman eventually here.
He's like the skid mark of third baseman.
Oh, now a familiar name we all heard of, number 13 on the list.
I have no idea who this guy is.
David Freese used to play for the Cardinals. Now he's with the LA Angels. Pretty much just been tapering it off in his career now. He's 32 years old. You know, last year he hit .260 with a .321 on-base percentage. It was the first season that his on-base percentage was under .340, which...
That's pretty solid.
That is solid, and I'm used to seeing him in a Cardinal uniform, and he did perform back in that day. So
yeah, when he was playing with the Cardinals, he had a better average. His career number is .280, and he has a .348 career on-base percentage. But if you look, you think when you think of David Freese, you think he has a little bit of power. He had 10 home runs or less in all but one season of his career.
No, well, I'll crack one for him because he's like a punk-ass David Wright.
I won't even
Is it
put
the
them in
LA
the same
Angels?
conversation.
Is it the
as
Anaheim
other-
Angels? When did they change? Which one are they?
Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. I think that's what it is, correct?
That is what it
It
is.
is. You're
Yes.
right. That's ridiculous. I forgot how stupid it was.
They have a nice ballpark. They like smoked everybody last year and got into the first round of the playoffs and just got beat.
Well, marijuana is legal in LA, so a lot of people are smoking a lot of things.
Yeah, but David Freese, he's over the past 2 seasons, he's been pretty much a 260 hitter, where a few years ago he was hitting 290 consistently. But it looks like he's dropping off now, and the best days are behind him.
I'll agree with him at 13 on the list. Who's at number 12?
Mike Moustakas from the Royals. This guy was a big-time prospect. Everybody thought he was going to be a beast, and he's never lived up to the potential yet. And he's been in the bigs for 4 years now, so he really needs to step it up this year. His age 26 season, it's a prime season to break out, but I'm not so sure he's going to be able to do it. He hit just .212 last season with a .271 on-base percentage. His career's numbers aren't much better, .236 and .290. He does have some power. He hit 15 home runs in 457 at-bats last year, and he didn't K much last season either, just 74 Ks. But he just needs to pick his average up. As simple as that.
Could you go as far as calling him a fantasy sleeper at third
Oh,
base?
he's definitely a fantasy sleeper, and I have him on my board. He's a free agent right now. I'm thinking about him for my draft.
So keep that in mind.
Correct.
And if you have any fantasy baseball questions, just hit us up on Twitter at bet_the_spread. If you're not on Twitter, you can throw the question over our way on Facebook. Dash is always checking out that Facebook. You got to hashtag it JDash, though, because if you hashtag it Jim Sella, I'm going to answer something about the Cleveland Browns, and you're really not going to know what you're talking about.
They're bright new uniforms.
Yeah, they're new uniform colors. It's just a different color of orange. What a way to rip off a fan base. Oh, buy all new jerseys because they're brighter orange. That's exactly what they're doing.
Well,
Sorry, go ahead, Dash, with your baseball. I always screw it up with football.
we can we'll segue that into who's making revenue with jersey sales is the Royals, because what a run they had last year.
World Series, right?
Yeah, and it was pretty impressive to watch.
Good for them.
But
Team
I
like that deserves it.
Yeah, they do. Number 11 here.
All right, we got the Yankees third baseman this season, Chase Headley. He's going to be turning 31 in May. Really?
Is he really better than Alex Rodriguez? Or is it just
At
because the
third
Yankees
base,
hate Rodriguez? Is there any chance Rodriguez could be a good third baseman?
No, I don't think so. He looked bad before his suspension and everything.
Is it his mobility or what? I mean,
He's busted.
Yeah.
We shouldn't even talk about that dude.
he's on their team, man.
You know, he's busted though. He ain't on the list.
I know.
Anyways, yeah, he might DH for them this season. Though.
He's gonna DH. There's no way they're gonna pay him the millions of dollars they pay him and not play him. It's something.
Yeah, they have to give him a shot, but then he'll just suck, and then what are they gonna do?
He wants that home run clause to get an extra $30 million.
That's ridiculous. That clause is ridiculous.
Let's get back to Chase Headley.
I'm sorry. I just was talking about one of his teammates whose position he stole.
Stole. I think A-Rod lost it.
Love A-Rod. Everybody hates on this
He
dude.
didn't lose it. He surrendered it.
Why does everybody hate on A-Rod?
Oh,
Banged hot chicks.
what do you
he
mean
hit home
hate on
runs.
him? Because he just blatantly just lied. I mean,
So did every other player. That
okay,
took
you could do it
steroids.
once, but then
he
he
was
did
like-
it twice. He did it twice.
He was like the
and then
Walter
he sued
White
the
of
league.
this.
He
But I
sued.
like
He sued
Walter
the.
White.
He sued the union.
Well, you can like him. I don't care.
All right. Chase Headley.
Chase Headley.
243 average. That's garbage.
Well, listen, in 2012, he hit 31 jacks and had 115 RBI. But really,
What did A-Rod have?
that was his... What did A-Rod have? He was injecting himself.
242 injections.
Anyways, that was pretty much Chase Headley's career year, and he's never even came close to those numbers again. Last season, like you said, just 243 average. The 328 on-base percentage wasn't great. 13 home runs, 49 RBIs, 55 runs, and 470 at-bats. That's actually below his career numbers. He has a 265 career average. Maybe, though, Yankee Stadium can help him out and he can get back up to 20 home runs. It's possible.
I'm personally happy that you have the Yankee third baseman not even in the top 10 of the list, because obviously on the spread, I hate the Yankees.
I agree with you. I'm not a Yankees fan either. Not many people are outside of New York.
Hey, Jay-Z wears a Yankees hat and doesn't even know who plays for the team.
And makes songs called New York, New York.
And says he made the hat more famous than a Yankee can.
Why think Derek Jeter. Now it's rip on Jay-Z segment.
I love Jay-Z, but I think that Derek Jeter made the hat a little more famous than Jay-Z.
Yeah, well...
Chase Headley ain't making the New York hat famous. Let me tell you that.
No.
I'm not a big fan of Chase Headley. Look, his batting average has dropped every year since his career year in 2011 when he hit 289. I don't see it getting any better this season. His home run total might go up because he's playing with the Yankees, and you can hit a ton of home runs there. Not much upside to me, though.
Yeah. Break it down. Top 10 third baseman.
All right, the A's are going to go with Brett Lawrie this season. They traded Josh Donaldson to the Blue Jays. We'll be talking about him in a little bit. But Brett Lawrie is still a young guy. Like Moustakas, he was a big prospect. He was supposed to be a beast, and he really hasn't shown up to his potential yet. He's still just 25. He only hit 247 last season with a 301 on-base percentage, which isn't good. His power did finally show up last year. 12 home runs and 259 at-bats ain't bad. You double those at-bats, you got a 24 home run guy. Is this a year he could break out? I think it possibly could be. 25 years old, grown into himself in the majors. I think he could have a breakout season.
Yeah. Obviously, the A's saw something in him.
Well, I don't know what the A's are doing. They got rid of one of the best third basemen in the league, even though he is a little bit older. But if you want to go with the win-now situation, I think they made the wrong move. But it's not like I hate Brett Lawrie either.
Who knows what Billy Beane's doing down there in Oakland?
Yeah.
Guy's insane.
He is.
I love him.
He made a lot of good moves, but last year I think he made a lot of mistakes.
Well,
but he isn't afraid to make a mistake. At least he goes after what he thinks is going to, win. And some organizations,
at least they take
he
a chance.
really went all out last season to me.
To get that pitching, and it just didn't pan out.
Look, he got rid of...
I would have done the same thing.
He got rid of a top 5 prospect in Addison Russell to the Cubs. He got rid of Cespedes. He ended up getting, Smarja in a deal, and he got Lester. Both of them are gone.
Yeah.
He got rid of their best hitter in Brandon Moss and Josh Donaldson, whatever one you want to say. I would say Josh Donaldson was their best hitter. Now he's gone.
Cespedes, they got rid of him, though, because they knew they weren't going to be able to re-sign him. They were going to lose him anyway, so at least taking a shot.
But, I mean, they lost Lester.
Decision, obviously.
They lost the guy they got for him anyway, so that one isn't a huge deal. But they really lost everyone.
Yeah.
Number 9.
Lonnie Chisenhall.
Is he chiseled?
He's for your favorite team.
Please believe.
He plays for the Indians. He's 26 years old. He hit 280 last season with a 343 on-base percentage, which is very nice. 13 home runs and 478 bats ain't terrible. It ain't great. A little bit of pop.
But he's got work to do because there's people nipping on right behind him.
Well, yeah, they have a prospect in the minors, Giovanni Urshela. He looks like a good prospect. They also have Francisco Lindor, one of the top prospects in baseball, and he is going to be a shortstop. But the shortstop now is Jose Ramirez until Lindor comes up. And if Ramirez hits better than Chisenhall, there is a possibility that Ramirez could be moved to third and Chisenhall could be out of a job.
Well, when you compare Chisenhall's numbers to Roger Dorn's numbers, who would you rather have at third base?
Definitely Chisenhall. Listen, I had him on my fantasy team last year.
Fantasy update.
I picked him up. And then it was like 3 games later, he hit 3 or 4 home runs. He put up 25 points in one day. It was ridiculous.
Hey, Roger Dorn got on base 100% of the time in the second movie.
Is that why he's getting a 9 ranking? And
no, listen,
because of his one fantasy miracle last year. Are you favoriting him? Well, but from what I hear is like if he don't perform, he's not going to be there.
Yeah, but he can perform. Listen, he's only 26 years old. He hit 280 last year. But if you do look, April he hit 362, May 373, June 311, and then after that, July 209, August 250, and September 219. So which one is it going to be? Is it going to be the guy the first half of the season or the second half of the season, or is it going to be in between? I think it's more of the in between.
He needs to eat his Campbell's chunky soup.
Beer cheddar or whatever that was.
I found a new recipe for beer cheese, Easy.
Beer Cheesy.
But
We're
listen,
gonna try it
26 years old. There's a possibility
The big
he
Beer
could grow
Cheesy.
into a little bit more power, get closer to 20 home runs a season, maybe.
Yeah.
Get it, Chisenhall. Quit
I like
being
it.
a little bitch.
Number 8, Trevor Plouffe for the Minnesota Twins. Last year he hit 258, 328 on base percentage, 14 pops, 80 RBIs. Pretty decent year for a team that, has been decent over the years, but kind of fell off lately.
Would you guys say that the dead ball era is kind of coming back? Not as bad, but just seems
Nowhere close to the dead
numbers
ball
are
era.
down all around baseball.
The steroid era is over. That's what it is.
Yeah, I get that. Just seems like it's a little more extreme.
But Plouffe has some power. 14 home runs or more in each of his last 3 seasons. His batting average and on-base percentage increased in each of the last 3 years. So this guy looks like he's getting better each season. But the big problem is the Twins have a top prospect in Miguel Sano. This dude is 40 home run potential. He could be a late season call-up. It's more likely you'll see him next season. But that's their future.
15
Plouffe.
through 8.
This dude's a
got
rental.
work. Yeah, these dudes are on the block.
Jenny
With
on the
young
block.
talent coming up. Because these teams are,
They got work to do.
yeah.
Well, I tell you, Lonnie Chisenhall, he had a decent season last year, but he's not the greatest defensive third baseman. They actually tried playing Carlos Santana at third base last year, and that failed miserably.
Yeah.
So they're still looking for their third baseman. The A's, like I said, Lawrie's still got to break out. Moustakas still got to break out. Headley's heading downhill. Freese is heading downhill.
Yeah.
It's looking bad.
These dudes.
But then we got the number 7 guy here, a guy who I think is heading up.
So his arrow's pointing up.
His
According
arrow,
to Mike Tomlin.
according to JDash. But believe Nick Castellanos, he's going to be turning 23 before the season starts. He hit a measly 259 last season with a 306
Wee.
on-base percentage.
This dude's beast.
Hashtag measly.
But he only had 11 home runs and 533 bats, so he really didn't show much last season, but he was only 22, like I was saying. It was his rookie
23
year.
is a whole new ball game.
Yeah, if you look at his AAA numbers in 2013, he hit 276 with a 343 on base, 18 home runs, and 533 bats. I expect him to be up around those numbers in the coming years.
I have no idea who he is, so I really have nothing to add here. And as far as my comedic relief, I think I may be tapped out for this segment.
I thought you tapped out 4 months ago.
Well, you know this dude at number 6
Pablo Sandoval, world champion.
for Boston Red
Gold
Sox
Glove
this
candidate.
year, though. Gold Glove candidate. New team, huh?
You know, I kind of like the Red Sox. I hate Boston, but I kind of like the Red Sox.
I like him better than the Yankees.
Yeah, I can enjoy Boston,
I like them better than the Pirates.
but they almost do. They do the same thing. They buy their stock, their team, and buy them. But why do I don't like the Yankees and I like Boston?
because they have Boston has a cooler outfield wall.
No, because they just never won, and then they come back from.
Now they win.
No, they come back from 3 games down for the first time in baseball history. I remember that. That's what won me over. Yankees had them down 3-0, and they come back and won 4 straight games in the playoffs. That was
Yeah.
hardcore.
And then they made a movie about it with Drew Barrymore.
Well,
Wasn't Jimmy Fallon in it too?
Yes.
It was a horrible movie.
I never watched that.
Pablo
movie.
Sandoval, though, his average last year, 279 with a 324 on-base percentage, a little under his career averages. He's closer to a 300-hitter career. 16 homers last season, not great, not terrible, but just 85 Ks and 588 at bats. He's good at putting the bat on the ball. I think those home run numbers can go up in Boston, though, for sure. And look, he's hit double-digit home runs each of the past 6 seasons, so he's consistent. It's all about, he's always overweight, and there's always questions about his health.
In his first 7 seasons with San Francisco, he never struck out more than, maybe like 85 times in a season?
Yeah, like I said, he's a good hitter. He doesn't take many walks, but I love a guy that doesn't K much. He's putting the bat on the ball. It's making things happen.
Better than Josh Harrison.
You're dead wrong. They're about the same in that category.
Top 5 AL third baseman. We're going to round them down. Number 5, Manny Machado, Baltimore Orioles. Last year, 278, 324 on base percentage.
Manny the Nacho Machado.
Not too much power or RBI production because
actually,
He's no Cal Ripken.
Oh, he got beat up.
Yeah, he got hurt last season. His power actually started to break out last year. 12 home runs, yeah, but 327 at-bats. If he'd have played a full season, he'd have got up over 20 home runs for the first time in his career, which isn't a long career. He's going to be turning just 23 in July.
Dude's a beast. Baltimore's on a roll, too.
I'm liking me some Manny Machado.
Who's got him on fantasy?
Not me. I tried trading for him like 30 times and it didn't work out. I was trying to give up Billy Hamilton before he got caught up by the Reds, but now I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
They're stolen bases by
He's stolen
Hamilton.
your heart, Billy Hamilton.
Please believe.
Number 4 of seasoned veteran.
Seasoned vet. He had a little bit of a down year last year. Evan Longoria for the Rays. He's 29 this season, so he's not too old yet. 22 home runs, 91 RBI. I said it was a down season. That's still a pretty nice season from a guy. 83 runs. His walk rate went down last year, but his K rate also improved a little bit. But really, he's more of a 270 hitter, and he, like I said, he only hit 250 last season. Well, listen, he's still a power guy, though. 22 home runs are down from his 2013 season where he hit 32. And like I said, he's just 29, so he could get back up around 30.
I'm hearing reports of Tampa Bay struggles again this year that he could be on the block.
I could see that happening, too.
Yeah. They could probably get
What's that?
some
Would you
decent
trade
talent.
Josh Harrison for Evan Longoria right now?
How old's Harrison?
Harrison's contracts. He's 28. He's going to be turning 28, I believe.
Yeah.
So he's not much younger. I mean, Longoria is going to give you more production for sure.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'd rather have Evan Longoria on my team. I don't know if that's exactly what the Pirates would think, though.
The Buccos know it all, according to you. Dejan Kovacevic said it. Neil Walker's out of town.
Yeah.
Buccos are done with him. Used
Well,
them
not
up.
this season,
kicked them
obviously.
out.
They do have a second baseman in the minors, though.
Well, if Bung Chung Kung can do his job and steal, that second base starting position,
I think it might be more of a shortstop he's going to steal position from.
That's not what
Mercer
I'm
may
hearing.
be the one.
I'm hearing it's going to be Walker. And Pedro, I always hate on him. Pedro Report is doing much better. Better attitude, swinging the bat well down in spring training. So there you go. Can't say I always hate. Let's get the top 3 going.
All right, let's move back to third baseman. Kyle Seager from the Mariners. He was the Gold Glove winner. He's just 27. He hit 268 last year with a 334 on-base percentage. Not terrible. 25 jacks, 96 RBIs, 71 runs is very nice. He has a nice K rate. His walk rate isn't too bad. I like this guy.
Yeah, Kyle Seager, man, he's a beast. Got a rocket for an arm, makes plays. Seattle, it's a up-and-coming team. Just great,
85 and
great
75
stats.
last year, I believe.
264 RBIs and 527 games played. I mean, he can produce. Kyle Seager, he plays the guitar and the harmonica at the same time. He's a great teammate.
Wow, he plays baseball?
No.
Oh, I thought he could play the guitar, the harmonica, and third base at the same time. I'm sorry, I got excited.
Look, each year since he was a rookie, his batting average went up. The power's for real. Over the past 3 seasons, he hit 20 or more home runs. This guy is for real. He's a Gold Glove winner. What else can you ask for?
You really want to move on to Adrian Beltre, number 2, don't you?
Top 2.
I like Adrian Beltre too, but he is getting old. He's going to be turning 36 in April. But he was a Gold Glove candidate last year too.
Yeah.
Where he had big years in L.A., then went to Seattle and didn't have as big a year, and then went to Texas?
Boston for a year.
Thought
But
so.
look, last year he hit 324 with a 388 on base percentage. That's well above his career numbers, which is 285 and 337. The 19 homers are actually a little down from his career numbers. RBIs are down a little bit, runs down a little bit. You could say, oh, it's him getting older, but that 324 average tells me that it was the team around him. Look, he had 30 home runs or more in each of his first 3 seasons with Texas before just having 19 last year, and I still believe he's that type of player. It's just that he had a terrible lineup around him. They were ravaged by injuries. I think he's going to have a better season this year.
Yeah, he can definitely produce.
You could be one of the best hitters in baseball, and unless you're really on like a Barry Bonds type level, if you have no protection behind you, you're going to get pitched around and your opportunities aren't going to be there, so you're going to have a down year.
Speaking of pitched around, his walk rate was way up last season, so it looks like they were trying to pitch around him, and his K rate is always nice. Look, 74 Ks and 549 at bats last season. This guy does everything well.
Gotta have a solid K rate.
I think that's the second pop can opening I heard in 3 minutes.
That one was for Texas Rangers.
And number 1, go ahead, Easy, since you know this guy so well.
Your boy, Josh Donaldson. Highly touted. Highly touted. Fantasy. He's lighting the fantasy pages on fire.
29 years old, Gold Glove candidate last season, played for the A's. He really broke out with the A's in 2013 when he hit .301 with a .384 on base, 24 home runs, 93 RBIs, 89 runs. He had a huge season. I think he was actually in MVP talk that season. But last year, his average did go down with the A's, back to .255 with a .342 on base percentage. But the home runs went up. The RBIs are there. The runs are there. They stayed pretty much the same with 2013. So really, who cares about the average if you're producing the same numbers?
Yeah.
But now he's with the Blue Jays. I like the Blue Jays more. Their lineup looks pretty good this season. I think he can even improve on the numbers from last year.
There's no reason why he can't.
I see no reason. You got Jose Bautista batting behind him now, probably, or in front of him. Either one. That helps.
Word to your mother.
So, recap it for me. 15.
Number 15,
15.
Luis Valbuena. 14, Conor Gillaspie. 13, David Freese. 12, Mike Moustakas. 11, Chase Headley.
Heading downward.
10, Brett Lawrie.
Mike Lowry's long-lost cousin.
Number 9, Lonnie Chisenhall. 8, Trevor Plouffe. 7, Nick Castellanos. 6, Pablo Sandoval. Number 5, Manny Machado. Number 4, Evan Longoria. 3, Kyle Seager. Number 2, the seasoned vet Adrian Beltre. And number 1, beast mode Josh Donaldson.
It's quite a list you put together there, Dash.
I have to
Love it.
real quick. I have to applaud Toronto because Toronto's trying to win baseball in that tough division. So and
They got some pitching out there
in
now,
Canada. So good luck, Toronto.
Yeah, I'm liking their chances this season. I hope they outdo the Red Sox and the Yankees.
What about the A's? Or what about the Rays?
Rays and Orioles, too.
Sneaking out.
Block 'em all.
Orioles, what a division.
Well, that wraps up our AL third baseman. I want to thank you, Dash, for coming in. Thank you, Easy, for stopping up. Thank you, fans, for listening. You guys can follow us on Twitter at bet_the_spread. You can follow me on Twitter at betjimtowin. You can follow Easy on Twitter at
Steel Digital.
like us on Facebook. Subscribe to that YouTube channel. Keep hitting them thumbs up. Peace.